Madam Vice Chair, members of the committee. For the record, Dave Mitchell. I'm the Chief of Police, University of Maryland, College Park. As you know, we're a very large campus, 26th largest in the United States. A city of roughly 60,000 people, 37,000 students. As such, we have a number of challenges. I'm here to ask for your support on Senate Bill 906. It would codify into law and make consistent throughout our university system the unlawful possession of weapons on campus. Specifically, my major concern is firearms. It's rare that we don't have 2, 3, 4, 5, or during exam week, twice as many calls for folks who are a danger to themselves on our campus. And it's predictable around exam time, if you will. My concern would be that any access to a weapon would lead to tragedy. And our response time, we, of course, advertise, see something, say something. Our response time to emergencies on campus is a little over 2 minutes. We're very fast. 104 police officers. On a routine call, it's about 3.5 minutes. We see this as good legislation to codify what we already have in the way of policy, law that wouldn't be changed by the university senates and have disparate policies throughout the state. So we ask for a favorable report.
Thank you very much for your testimony. Senator Castley has a question.
Hi,
Chief,
Senator.
good to see you. So how many actually shootings do you have on campus? Or student-involved shootings, or students are actually shooting someone?
Well, we don't, because we have a policy that does not allow weapons. Now, we've had shootings. I have threats of shootings. I find them on social media. I find them on deck. And these are folks that we do an emergency psychiatric commitment on. We had one shooting about 3 years ago off campus of a man who was 21, so he could lawfully possess a handgun. In fact, he had a machine pistol and a 9mm. He killed one of my students and shot another and then took his own life. That's the concern that I'm talking about.
But this wouldn't impact that because that was off campus.
That was off campus, but what has happened since then is most, or at least many of the landlords prohibit in the lease any weapons on the grounds.
Okay. But again, this law still wouldn't impact that. The landlords are doing it, and that's helping.
No, it would not.
Yeah.
Had he lived on campus, it certainly would have.
Right. But you haven't had problem. Have you had any students that that you're aware of that violated the campus policies on not having handguns?
Yes.
And what's the reaction when that happens?
He was placed under arrest.
Okay. So it's just one?
It was just one that I'm aware of.
So he can be arrested for violating a policy?
No, he was under 21 with a handgun.
Okay, so, all right. And most of the students would be under 21?
Correct.
All right. And the, what if currently a student was 21 or older, has a permit, but has it on campus? What would be the response?
By policy, you can't have that.
I understand that,
No
but
concealed carry.
somebody tells you they have it on the campus.
Mm-hmm.
What do the police, what does your department do?
What we would do is tell them that you can't have a handgun on campus despite the fact that you have a concealed carry.
Okay.
By policy.
And the fact that there's already a policy that says you can't have it, is you treat it anything differently? Can you take the handgun from that person? I'm on campus, I'm 21, I got a right to carry permit, so it's a lawful handgun, so you can't, that's not an issue. And somebody says the guy in the cafeteria's got a gun, you see my permit, what happens from there?
Well,
It's clearly a violation of policy.
It's a violation of policy. You'd be referred to the Office of Student Conduct for a violation of policy, which we do on any violation.
Would you
of
be able to
policy.
seize the handgun at that point, since it's on campus in violation of policy?
You know, in a case like that, we take each case on its own merits. Reasonably, I'd ask that person to, where he or she was going to secure the gun, and don't come back on campus with it.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Senator Norman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Chief, where are you from again?
University of Maryland, College Park.
Okay. I'm up in Harford County, and I represent Cecil County, and we always kind of consider that rural and a little bit country up there. And I know you were here, and you heard my comments to the sponsor about the knives and stuff. Would it surprise you that I could take college classes in Maryland where they expect me to bring my handgun, like in Allegheny College out in Grantsville, where they give you the handgun qualification license? It's a course, it's been a course there since 2013. They teach me how to shoot my gun. Would that surprise you? Did you know that?
Well, I'll defer those questions to Chief Smith, who is from Frostburg State, and she is more familiar with the rural
My
parts.
question, would that surprise you, that I can go out to college and take my gun and they're going to teach me how to shoot accurately?
Well, it would surprise me if you were under the age of 21 and you had a handgun and somebody sanctioned that, yes, because it's unlawful. Now,
I didn't say anything about age, I was surprised to hear it myself.
Right.
Because I'm not as conservative as Allegheny County, even though I got a lot of country up where I live.
I understand.
But maybe Harford and Cecil Community College could offer these licenses, you know, and these training courses too. And I don't know that that's such a bad idea. Just want to know your opinion on it. You think that's a bad idea?
I would not advocate for training students in handgun.
How to be proficient, how to self-defense. I mean, I would think down at University of Maryland, down where you are, I would probably feel a little more comfortable knowing I had a carry permit. I'm just talking out loud, so.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Norman. Just one final question I've got for you, Chief Mitchell. I'm sorry, Senator Reedy has a question, please. But my question is just this. This has been your policy for a long time. Is it a controversial policy? I mean, are people trying to change it? Are there professors objecting?
Yes, we've had students who would like to change it.
They would like to change it, okay.
Yes.
Do parents object too, or is it basically just students, or?
Just students that I'm
Yeah.
aware of.
Yeah. Okay, Senator Reedy.
Thank you, and thank you for being here. Thank you for your service, both of you,
Thank
to
you.
the students and to our state. Just a question comes to mind as I look at the bill. It talks about being on the property of a public institution of higher education.
Correct.
I don't know College Park real well, but I've been on the campus, and there's lots of roads. Are the roads that go through the campus, are they considered to be property of the University of Maryland?
With some exceptions, yes. One exception would be State Route 1
Okay, well, sure.
and Route 193.
Okay.
But the roads inside on campus, yes,
Okay, and obviously the parking lots are all
correct.
your property.
Yes, sir.
If and I don't have a concealed carry permit, but let's say in a few years I'm taking my daughter to college, and at the University of Maryland, and I have a concealed carry permit, and I have the weapon with me, the firearm with me, and I'm driving her onto campus. Am I then going to be in violation of this law if I'm driving on the road into the University of Maryland, College Park?
The way I read the law, yes.
Would I be in violation of, well, the policy's for students at this time, correct? Or is it for anybody, students and who works there?
Anyone.
Anyone. Okay. So I'm already in violation of university
Faculty.
policy.
Yes.
But now we're making it a crime. Whereas perhaps what would happen now is if for some reason your folks stopped me on one of the roads because I was speeding while dropping my daughter off at her chemistry building or whatever, I would be asked to not bring the weapon back on campus if I had a concealed carry. But if this law were to pass, I would be actually breaking the law, correct?
The way I read the bill, that's correct.
Okay. What about, would this apply, and I know this is not your university but you've got, sometimes you have hospitals that are teaching hospitals, and as far as I understand by my research, this law would apply to that. Same concept, right? If I'm in the parking lot of a teaching hospital, I may not know it's a teaching hospital, but I could be in violation of this law.
If it fits the definition of university property, correct.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Chief, I was just struck by your opening statement, and one of the senators asked you how many gun fatalities there'd been, and you said none, we don't have guns on the campus. Would you, in fact, feel safer and think that public safety on campus would be improved if guns were allowed on campus?
Absolutely not.